Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. The hours between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. are not ordinary. They are not just another stretch of time in your day. They are the hours when the world is quiet, when the distractions have gone to sleep, and when your mind, if you allow it, can become sharper than ever before. Most people miss this window. They let it slip by because they are too comfortable, too sedated by their own routines, too unwilling to face the discomfort of rising before the sun. But those who wake up at this hour, those who seize this time, they gain something that others do not. They gain clarity, they gain control. They gain a decisive edge over the rest of the world. The first thing you must do when you wake up at this hour is take control of your thoughts. Your mind is in its purest state at this time, untouched by the noise, by the nods of others, by the weight of obligations. This is when you must direct it with precision. You sit in silence. You allow yourself to think, to reflect on who you are and what you are becoming. Because if you do not take the time to define yourself, the world will do it for you, and the world is not kind in its definitions. You must ask yourself, what are my weaknesses? Where am I failing? What am I avoiding? And then with brutal honesty, you must face those answers. Once you have established control over your mind, you must take control of your body. You must move. You must stretch, train, breathe deeply. Remind yourself that you are not just a mind floating in some abstract space. You are a body, a structure that requires strength, resilience, discipline. Too many people neglect this fundamental truth. They let their bodies decay while chasing intellectual pursuits, or worse, they ignore the mind while obsessing over aesthetics. The balance must be struck. When you train at this hour, you are not just building muscle or endurance, you are forging discipline. You are telling yourself that you are the kind of person who does what needs to be done, no matter the discomfort, no matter the resistance. Then you must set your direction. You must write, plan, establish order. Because if you do not have a plan, you will be a servant to chaos. Most people wake up and react. They check their phones, they answer emails, they respond to what the world throws at them. But if you wake up at this hour, you are given a gift, a chance to be proactive, to decide what your day will be before the world tries to decide for you. Write down your goals, clarify your priorities, set a path for yourself. If you do this consistently, you will begin to see something remarkable. Your days will no longer feel random. Your life will no longer feel out of control. You will move with purpose, and that will set you apart. Finally, you must embrace stillness. Not everything at this hour needs to be action. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is sit in quiet contemplation. The modern world has robbed people of silence. They are bombarded with noise, with stimulation, with endless streams of information. But real wisdom comes in the moments of stillness, when you allow yourself to just be. If you can sit with your own thoughts without distraction, without the crutch of technology or entertainment, you will develop something rare, an unshakable sense of self. The hours between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. are a test. They separate those who are serious about their lives from those who are merely drifting. If you can master these hours, you will begin to master yourself. And if you can master yourself, there is no telling how far you can go. So wake up, take control, face the discomfort and make something of yourself, because no one else is going to do it for you. Waking up between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. provides a unique opportunity to harness mental clarity and develop self-discipline. During these early hours, the mind is unburdened by the noise of daily life, allowing individuals to engage in deep reflection and structured thinking. Unlike later in the day, when responsibilities, distractions, and external demands take over, this quiet window presents a chance to focus entirely on internal development. The absence of interruptions enhances cognitive function, allowing thoughts to be more structured, deliberate, and meaningful. Mental discipline is not something that simply appears. It must be cultivated through intentional action. Waking up at an early hour requires breaking free from comfort and routine laziness, reinforcing self-control and resilience. The body resists at first, craving more sleep. But the act of pushing through that initial discomfort signals a powerful shift in mindset. Over time, this habit rewires the brain, strengthening the ability to override short-term impulses in favor of long-term gains. By consistently waking up early, individuals train themselves to develop control over their actions, proving that they can command their own behavior rather than being ruled by it. The mind operates differently in the early hours. Before the day's obligations, social interactions, and digital distractions take hold, there is a heightened sense of presence and focus. Scientific studies suggest that the brain is in a more creative and productive state after sleep, as neural pathways are refreshed and cognitive load is minimal. This means that early morning thinking is often more structured, rational, and insightful than thinking that occurs later in the day when decision fatigue sets in. Many of history's great thinkers, leaders, and innovators have recognized this advantage, using the early morning hours for strategic planning, creative work, and self-reflection. A major component of mental clarity in the early morning is the ability to assess one's life and direction with objectivity. During the day, people are often too occupied with immediate tasks to step back and critically evaluate their own behavior, habits, and progress. However, in the stillness of the early morning, the mind is unclouded by stress, allowing for a more honest and precise evaluation of personal strengths and weaknesses. This clarity enables individuals to identify areas for improvement, set realistic goals, and develop strategies for growth. Without this self-assessment, many people drift through life without a clear sense of direction, reacting to circumstances rather than shaping their own future. Developing mental discipline through early rising also leads to an increased sense of control over life. Many individuals struggle with feelings of chaos, overwhelmed by responsibilities and external pressures. However, taking charge of the morning instills a sense of mastery, proving that one can dictate the terms of their own existence. This control extends beyond just waking up early. It translates into better decision-making, improved time management, and a stronger ability to resist distractions and temptations. Those who make use of these early hours find that they gain an edge over others who start their day in a reactive state. Instead of being pulled in multiple directions by obligations, they begin the day with a sense of purpose and mental sharpness. Over time, this discipline compounds, leading to significant personal and professional growth. Physical activity in the early morning plays a crucial role in developing resilience, self-discipline, and long-term mental and physical strength. Engaging in movement between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. is not just about fitness. It is about training the mind to embrace discomfort and push through resistance. At this hour, the body is in a state of inertia, craving rest and comfort. Choosing to overcome this natural resistance builds a deep-rooted discipline that extends beyond physical health and influences all areas of life. It reinforces the idea that difficult things must be done regardless of how one feels in the moment. This ability to act despite discomfort is a foundational skill for success in any field. When people wake up early and engage in physical activity, they activate their body's natural energy systems, enhancing focus, alertness, and overall cognitive function. Movement stimulates blood flow, increases oxygen intake, and triggers the release of endorphins, neurochemicals that elevate mood and reduce stress. This means that individuals who start their day with exercise are not only strengthening their bodies, but also optimizing their minds for high performance. Studies have shown that those who exercise in the morning experience improved concentration, sharper memory, and better problem-solving abilities throughout the day. This advantage accumulates over time, setting them apart from those who begin their mornings passively. The act of physical training in the early morning also fosters a strong sense of self-mastery. When an individual commits to movement before the world wakes up, they are proving to themselves that their own progress is a priority. This is a declaration that they are in control of their own body and choices. Many people struggle with inconsistency and procrastination, often allowing excuses to dictate their actions. However, when one commits to physical activity at a time when it is most tempting to stay in bed, they reinforce the habit of following through on commitments regardless of circumstances. This discipline then carries over into other areas of life, improving work ethic, emotional resilience, and the ability to withstand pressure. In addition to strengthening discipline, early morning exercise develops a unique mental resilience that is essential for overcoming challenges. Physical exertion pushes the body beyond its perceived limits, forcing the mind to endure temporary discomfort for long-term benefits. Whether it is stretching, lifting weights, running, or engaging in breath work, each session conditions the individual to tolerate discomfort without giving in. This resilience is directly applicable to life's obstacles. Those who train themselves to persist through physical strain at the start of the day are better equipped to handle stress, setbacks, and adversity with a composed and determined mindset. Engaging in movement early in the morning also reinforces a sense of control over the day. Many people start their mornings feeling sluggish, reactive, and unmotivated. However, those who move their bodies before the day begins experience a psychological shift. They take ownership of their time and energy before external demands take over. This proactive approach creates momentum, making it easier to tackle daily responsibilities with confidence and a clear mind. Over time, this habit compounds, leading to greater productivity, improved mental well-being, and a stronger, more disciplined character. Structured planning in the early morning is one of the most effective ways to create order and purpose in life. Between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m., The mind is free from distractions, allowing for focused and intentional goal setting. This time offers a rare opportunity to take control of the day before external demands begin to pull attention in multiple directions. Many people wake up and immediately react to their environment, checking emails, responding to messages, or rushing into tasks without a clear direction. This reactive approach creates a sense of chaos, leading to wasted time, stress, and a lack of progress. However, those who wake up early and use this time to plan their day take an entirely different approach. They are proactive rather than reactive, ensuring that they move through the day with clear objectives, rather than simply responding to whatever comes their way. Writing down goals and structuring the day in the early morning brings clarity to one's priorities. Without a plan, it is easy to become overwhelmed, jumping between tasks without a sense of purpose. When an individual dedicates time to mapping out the day's most important objectives, they eliminate uncertainty and set themselves up for efficiency. They begin with a clear understanding of what needs to be accomplished and in what order. This sense of structure prevents procrastination and indecision, both of which are common obstacles to productivity. When there is a written plan, the mind no longer wastes energy trying to decide what to do next. It simply follows the predetermined path. Planning in the early morning is also an opportunity to align actions with long-term goals. Many people have aspirations, but they struggle to make consistent progress because they do not integrate their goals into their daily lives. They may have ambitions to improve their health, build a business, learn a skill, or strengthen relationships, but without deliberate planning, these goals remain distant ideas rather than concrete achievements. By setting aside time each morning to outline specific steps toward these objectives, individuals bridge the gap between intention and execution. Over time, these small daily actions accumulate, leading to meaningful progress. Another major advantage of early morning planning is the ability to anticipate challenges and prepare solutions in advance. Throughout the day, unexpected obstacles often arise, urgent tasks, distractions, or setbacks that can derail productivity. Those who plan their day in advance are better equipped to handle these disruptions without losing focus. They have already prioritized their most important tasks, making it easier to return to them even when interruptions occur. This level of preparedness reduces stress and increases the likelihood of staying on track. Developing the habit of structured planning fosters a mindset of control and responsibility. Instead of feeling like life is happening to them, individuals who plan early in the morning take ownership of their time and actions. They cultivate a sense of purpose, ensuring that their energy is directed toward meaningful pursuits rather than wasted on trivial matters. This discipline, practiced consistently, leads to greater success in both personal and professional life. Over time, the difference between those who plan and those who do not becomes clear. Those who take charge of their mornings take charge of their futures. Silence and stillness in the early morning create an environment for deep self-awareness, mental clarity, and emotional stability. Between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m., the world is quiet. There are no notifications, no external demands, and no social interactions pulling attention in different directions. This rare moment of stillness allows individuals to connect with their inner thoughts in a way that is nearly impossible during the rest of the day. In a world filled with constant noise and endless distractions, the ability to sit in silence and engage in deliberate thought is not just a luxury, but a necessity for personal growth. Modern society has conditioned people to fear stillness. Many individuals feel the need to constantly engage with something, scrolling through their phones, watching videos, or consuming information at all times. This continuous stimulation weakens the ability to think deeply, reflect honestly, and process emotions effectively. Those who never take the time to sit in silence often find themselves overwhelmed, anxious, or lacking direction, not because they lack intelligence or capability, but because they have never allowed themselves the space to think without distraction. When a person intentionally cultivates silence in the early morning, they gain an awareness of their own thoughts, behaviors, and motivations. They become more conscious of what truly matters rather than being influenced by external pressures and fleeting trends. Engaging in quiet reflection at this hour allows individuals to confront their own weaknesses and shortcomings with honesty. Throughout the day, it is easy to push aside uncomfortable truths, making excuses or distracting oneself with work, entertainment, or social interaction. However, in stillness, these truths become clear. The self-awareness is not meant to create guilt or self-judgment, but to provide an opportunity for improvement. Those who regularly engage in quiet contemplation develop a stronger understanding of their own strengths and limitations, allowing them to make better decisions and adjust their behavior accordingly. Beyond self-reflection, stillness in the early morning fosters emotional resilience. When individuals take the time to sit in silence, focus on their breathing, or engage in meditative practices, they train their minds to remain calm under pressure. Life is unpredictable, and stress is inevitable. But those who practice stillness develop an ability to remain composed in difficult situations. They learn to control their emotional responses rather than being controlled by them. This level of emotional intelligence is a defining characteristic of strong, disciplined individuals who do not allow external circumstances to dictate their inner state. In addition to strengthening self-awareness and emotional resilience, silence enhances creative thinking and problem-solving abilities. Many of the greatest ideas, innovations, and breakthroughs come not from constant effort, but from moments of deep thought and mental stillness. When the mind is allowed to process information without external interference, it forms new connections and insights that would not have been possible in a chaotic environment. Those who wake up early and embrace stillness before the world demands their attention position themselves to think more clearly, make wiser decisions, and approach challenges with a composed and strategic mindset. The ability to sit in silence without feeling restless or uncomfortable is a rare but invaluable skill. Those who cultivate this habit develop a stronger sense of self, an improved ability to manage emotions, and a clearer perspective on life. In a world that is always moving, those who master stillness gain an advantage that extends far beyond the early morning hours. They develop a mindset that allows them to navigate life with clarity, control, and purpose. Mastering the early morning hours between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. leads to long-term success by cultivating discipline, control, and a proactive mindset. While most people remain asleep, those who take advantage of this time gain a significant edge over the rest of the world. This habit is not just about waking up early, it is about using these hours to build a foundation for self-improvement, personal growth, and long-term achievement. Success is rarely the result of a single moment or event. Rather, it is the accumulation of small, consistent actions performed over time. Waking up early and utilizing this time effectively is one of the most powerful habits a person can develop. One of the greatest benefits of mastering these early hours is the ability to establish control over one's life. Many individuals feel overwhelmed by their responsibilities, constantly reacting to external demands rather than directing their own path. Those who wake up early and engage in structured activities such as planning, exercise, learning, or reflection begin their day with a sense of ownership. Instead of being controlled by circumstances, they dictate how their time and energy are spent. This sense of control extends beyond the morning, influencing decision-making, productivity, and overall life direction. When individuals take charge of their mornings, they begin to take charge of their lives. Another key advantage of waking up early is the development of discipline, which is a fundamental trait of successful individuals. Discipline is not something people are born with. It is cultivated through repeated actions that reinforce self-control and perseverance. Waking up at an early hour requires overriding the natural desire for comfort, reinforcing the ability to do what needs to be done regardless of how one feels. This mental conditioning strengthens resilience, making it easier to tackle challenges and remain consistent in the pursuit of long-term goals. Those who can master their mornings develop an unshakable work ethic, which translates into greater success in all areas of life. The early morning hours also provide an opportunity for uninterrupted deep work and self-improvement. During the day, distractions are constant. Emails, phone calls, social obligations, and unforeseen responsibilities pull attention in multiple directions. However, in the stillness of the early morning, the mind is free to focus intensely on meaningful work. Whether it is studying, writing, strategizing, or developing a skill, this time allows for deep concentration without interference. Over months and years, this accumulated focus leads to extraordinary results, setting early risers apart from those who struggle to find time for self-improvement. Perhaps most importantly, waking up early instills a mindset of proactivity rather than reactivity. Many people live their lives responding to whatever comes their way, never truly directing their own path. However, those who wake up early and use this time intentionally are always one step ahead. They are prepared, focused, and in control. This proactive approach compounds over time, leading to a life of purpose, achievement, and fulfillment. Ultimately, mastering the early hours is not just about getting up before the sun. It is about creating a life of intentional action, discipline, and long-term success.